I'm Vana from the Vanaverse, and today we are sitting down with Melinda Brown, sci-fi author of Peacekeeper and a Salem local. Welcome, Melinda. How are you
Hi.
feeling today?
I'm doing well, good.
Good. So the way it's going to work today is we're going to do a little interview with Melinda. We're going to ask her about her books, her writing journey, her next phase after her book to see if maybe there's a couple things that she can tell us as a little hint. There will be a live chapter reading. So Melinda is actually going to read a section of the first chapter to us to give you a little sneak peek of what to expect in the book. And then we are going to take a little break, and then we are going to do a signing, and you get to talk to Melinda, meet her, and we will also have questions that we picked up from some people online that weren't able to make it here today. So we're going to ask those questions and see what insight Melinda can give us. So let's jump right into it. Melinda, I have a couple icebreaker questions here
Okay.
for you. If your book had a theme song, what would it be?
Uh, well, I am a huge Breaking Benjamin's fan. So there is a song called Waiting for the Sky to Change by Starset that Breaking Benjamin plays in. So that would probably be the theme song for this
All right.
book.
Breaking Benjamin is a great band.
Yes.
So love that. All right. Question number 2. If you were stranded on a spaceship, what's the one snack you'd make sure is fully stuffed?
Well, I don't like snacks too much. I'm not a snacky person,
What
but
about
I would make
food?
sure I would have coffee. I have to have coffee.
That's
So
important.
that's a no-go. There's no coffee.
No, I'm 100% with you on that. All right, last question here. What's the weirdest or funniest Google search you've done while researching for your book?
Um, so actually, not to give spoilers away, but I actually had to Google an autopsy because there's a scene in the book where there's an autopsy on a particular species. And so I had to Google like what the procedure was, the chemicals they use, the smells. So yeah, I'm sure I'm on some kind of list now.
The FBI agent. It's for research purposes only.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, awesome. Well, let's jump into talking about you and your inspiration and your writing journey. So, walk us through what you first realized you wanted to become an author.
Well, ever since I was a child, I've always like wanted to write stories, just fan stuff. And I never really thought of like, hey, I want to do this one day as like, when I get older. So one day I just start just dabbling more into this idea, and the rest is history, I guess.
What was the first thing you've ever written?
Originally, probably when I was in college, I took a post-grad class at Hollins to do short film screenwriting. And so that was probably the very first outline or writing I had to do that was original.
All right, very cool. So, you specifically write sci-fi. Peacekeeper is your first sci-fi book.
Yes.
So, what inspired you to go into that specific genre?
I've always liked sci-fi. I grew up watching Star Trek, Star Wars. I'm a big Aliens and Predator fan. So, yeah, to me, sci-fi is just a different, reality. It's very gritty and dark most times. So that's my draw to it.
Love it, and it's very unique. It's a unique genre where you can kind of play around with it
Mm-hmm.
and kind of make up whatever you want, and it'll make sense, right?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I love that. How has your personal interests and background as a history major influenced your writing?
Well, as a history major, I'm all into like early European history, like Norse stuff. So, actually, the Halan, which is the main alien race, I took a lot of Norse stuff with it. I also looked about, how does culture um, change or show people how to live, and how one change could just throw it all into chaos.
So walk us through how you came up with Peacekeeper. How do you outline your books? Are you an outliner, or are you kind of like, we'll figure it out as we go?
So usually I plot a couple of chapters ahead. Um, but the second book I'm actually working on is a more of a complete outline. But this one I just plot like 3 or 4 chapters ahead, and then I just let my characters take me where they wanted to go.
Do the characters speak to you in a certain way in your mind? I've heard authors say that there's sometimes like they're yelling at you to like write their story.
Sometimes I've had like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's like one scene where somehow it just went a different direction I was going for, and I just let my characters figure it out on their own.
That is true. And then you just write it. You're like, okay, fine, we'll go this way.
Yeah, just whatever.
So, how much research goes into your books? Because you do write about a whole other colony, a whole other planet. So, what kind of research that was involved in your writing process?
So for the research, I did research like, how are planets named? What atmosphere, what kind of elements would work for humans to live on? So I did a lot of research and like, uh, diameters, the temperature, everything. I had to make sure the planet was believable just so we could actually live on it.
Right. How intricate was that for you? Was
It was very detailed. I had to write like take notes and research. I feel like I was in college again, trying to figure this out. And I kind of stepped away from space travel because there's a lot of theories, and I didn't want to jump into that. So,
yeah. Did you have someone like fact check it for you, or just you kind of were like based on your research and then you added to it as you went?
it went through developed editing. So the guide I picked was actually liked sci-fi. So I had to make sure that I found somebody who actually knew sci-fi to make sure there was nothing that I threw in there that he's like, don't put that in there.
It's bad. Don't. What is like the craziest thing that you had to that he was like, oh, maybe not, or maybe he was like, oh yeah, that one is really good. Make sure you keep that.
There is a couple crazy scenes. It was this the rough draft got cut a lot, but there was like one scene in particular that I'm not gonna talk about, but it was actually too dark. He's like, okay, that's a little bit too much. You want to take that out? So I did because it was. I guess I was going through like a bad day. So,
You're just like writing your feelings.
yeah, pretty much.
What would you say is the hardest part about writing sci-fi?
Try and make it believable to others, people who like sci-fi, because everybody's going to critique you, so you kind of make sure that okay, is this something that people actually want to read or not? So,
Well, I'm sure a lot of people loved the world that you created, especially if they're like hardcore sci-fi fans. So, what would you say like what aspects of your personality are in the book? Like if we read it, we say, "Oh, this is Melinda in writing."
well, my character does have like a mental health issue, so I do suffer from anxiety. So I kind of put that element into the character to kind of show, as for me, how to get through things and how help her get her through her own mental health as well.
I love that. Mental health is very important,
Yes.
and I feel like it needs to be talked about
Yeah.
a lot more. So, if someone were to read your books without ever meeting you, what would they learn like about the type of person that you are?
I'm more like an open-minded kind of person. So, I'm not all about one particular culture or one particular religion. I like to learn more about everybody. So I think this book does reflect that.
All right. Well, let's talk about your book. So, walk us through high level. What is Peacekeeper about?
Okay, so Peacekeeper is about my character, Krista. She's a former Marine turned mercenary. The group's called the Peacekeepers, and they are deployed to an exoplanet to provide security, only to find out that it's already inhabited by the alien race, the Halan, which is right there, that they see the humans as their religious enemies.
It's a very interesting concept that you created. I love the idea that you just created a whole planet. I really love, but I have questions for that later.
Okay.
But what can readers expect going into it for the first time?
Okay, so it is adult sci-fi, so it does have graphic violence. It's got language, some gore, some romance, but no spice. And but I make sure people know that this is an adult sci-fi. There's going to be grit and darkness to it.
Yep. So be ready for
Right.
battle scenes and all that, right?
Right.
So what would you say was like the most fun you had writing Peacekeeper? Was there like a specific scene that you love or just a part that you were excited to put on paper?
For some reason, my character Bear or Jack was it was like the most fun I had writing. Whenever I had him in a scene, I was gonna have fun with it. I like messing with him. It was just great.
Do you have a favorite scene that you can tell us that's maybe not too spoilery?
There's one scene where I think in the beginning where Krista and Jack, he's like her mentor. So they actually go into like the mess hall of their compound and they have an arm wrestling match. And he tries to get in her head to mess with her just to teach her a lesson. And it's to me, I think it was the most fun because he got to sit there and taunt her and she got to taunt him back. So I like that banter.
Yeah, the banter. I love a good banter. I love that. So the whole premise of the book is you created a planet and a new colony. So talk to us a little bit about what were some challenges you found with creating like from like the ecosystem to the people surviving on the planet. Like walk us through how.
Well, okay, so there's actually two different planets mentioned in the book. The first planet, they had to have respirators. So I had to make sure that I didn't forget that. So people were like, "Wait a minute, you had them go out with respirator on. Now you don't have one." So I had to make sure that if they had their helmets on, I kept their helmets on throughout the entire scene. And also just like the dialogue, how the Halans spoke. So I had to make sure that I didn't use like my editors and I'd use contractions with them, just have everything type out. So sometimes I catch myself where I use the contractions. I had to remove it.
That sounds so interesting though. Like I feel like you had so much fun
Yeah,
creating like a whole other world
right.
basically. Peacekeeper centers on a new colony and there's friction between the humans and the Halan. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
How did you decide what political and cultural tensions to explore as you were writing the book?
Well, usually people think about, what if there's, aliens? How would that impact humanities with our own religious beliefs or culture beliefs? But I took a step further and decided to throw it on the aliens. Okay, the Halan do have two deities, and that's it, and that's all they believe in. It's just them and the potential antagonists, which was another race that attacked them. So when the humans come in, they're kind of like, well, who are you? So now they think that the humans they shouldn't exist per the religion. They don't understand. So I think that it just throws it into a complete chaos for them, and it's going to have repercussions as it goes on.
Mm-hmm. It's always hard, but you always have to make sure that like the tension is it's well executed in the book and make it known like yes, this is
Right.
the divide, but you guys have to read the book to see what happens. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Krista Evero. Am I saying her name
Mhm.
correctly? She is the female main character, and she's known as Lone Wolf in
Right.
the book. So walk us through the process of writing a leader who's both strong and vulnerable, because there are parts in the book where she shows leadership, like strong, but also
Hmm.
her vulnerable side. So how did you find that balance, but also add that to like her character arc?
Right. Okay. So basically, I picked Lone Wolf because she does have a sort of a really bad past that I won't get into because it'd be a spoiler alert. But she keeps to herself because of that. She has sometimes she has an anger or a very strong temperament to her. And Jack does ground her a lot with that. But sometimes that vulnerability gets to her. And there's one particular scene in the first chapter where she almost blows it because she lets it get to her so much. And there's consequences as to what happens when she lets it get to her.
Is there a specific part you can talk about where, well, that's not too spoilery, but to kind of give us a hint of what their relationship is like?
Yeah, so without spoiling, she does eventually have to become a stronger leader. After that, Jack pretty much sets her in place and tries to tell her, don't let it get to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so later on, what triggers it from the first chapter, she faces it again near the end.
Mm-hmm.
So she actually realizes or overcomes that trauma she has to get through it and face her past again.
That's a full circle moment
Yeah.
for her. That's awesome. The idea of forming an alliance with the
Hold on.
Helan, it was in my head and then I lost it. The Helan, yes. It introduces like empathy between two different species, two different types of people. So, from your perspective, and while you were writing the book, what does that trust look like when two cultures they have to start kind of working together and make their two different beliefs kind of not compromise, but live in harmony with each other is what I want to say.
Right. Okay. So they find out there's actually a creature on this planet that they're at that creates havoc for both races. And so they have to learn to get together and try to figure it out. There is mistrust throughout both sides. They don't understand one another still, but I think they realize the overall enemy right now is not each other. It's this other species that they have to work to, eradicate, or they're going to be, extinguished.
It's kind of like the enemy of my enemy is your friend.
Yeah.
That's right. So you hint throughout the book that there are bigger secrets and bigger forces that
Hmm.
come to play. So how did you go about weaving those little hints and little Easter eggs and as the story develops?
Yeah. So there's another race that I'm not going to talk about that's in this book that are enemies of the Halan, and there's a prophecy that they're going to come back again, and they're going to destroy everything. And so, um, even as they go along, that they're going to find out. that this race is coming back to them. But there's also calamity within the human colony because the employer is not who they say they were. Their intentions are a lot worse than what they thought. So that's also driving some of the tension later on too.
There's always something bigger,
Yeah.
of course. But we love that because it adds more and it gives you more to write.
Mhm.
It gives us more to read.
Right.
So kind of pulling out a little bit, looking at the Peacekeeper overall, what would you say was your favorite part? Whether it was a specific scene, a specific theme, or a certain character dynamic, what was your favorite part about it?
Okay, so my favorite scene was actually there's a big plot twist near the I think chapter 30 something, and it was the one where I had no control of my characters at that point. Something happened, and I'm like, okay, let's go with it. But a big change, and I really liked how I dealt or how my characters dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't what I expected was going to happen.
It was like they took a
It
bite
was
of
it was
their own.
another calamity that I wasn't planning on. So
Oh my gosh. What would you say was more challenging for you? Same thing, whether if it was a scene or some kind of theme that you were trying to keep throughout the book, what was a little more challenging for you?
probably just not making some of the explanations so long because they Halan have a very uh, in-depth religion. So
Mm-hmm.
try to explain it but not over-explain it was
Mm-hmm.
really hard to make sure it made sense as to
Mm-hmm.
why they're thinking the way they do.
Right. But it's still clear to the reader of
Clear,
like why
yes.
they are that way. And
Mhm.
yep, that makes sense. You announced on social media, I believe it was like a few months ago, but that Peacekeeper is getting an audiobook.
Mhm.
So what was that process like for you? Because I know it's a lot of work and it's a lot of thinking behind the scenes, making sure your narrators are exactly who you hear in your head. So walk us through how that process was for you.
Okay, so basically, with my I was googling or trying to figure out the process, and one of my friends referred me to ACX, which is part of Amazon, and I did some more research on it and some questions, and found out that you can do royalties. So I did, I guess, a proposal or audition selection, and people actually replied and read a couple verses I picked out, particularly just because I wanted my narrator to be female and be a strong character. So I found one lady that she had nailed it home with Krista because I didn't want her to be kind of dainty. I want to be like a stern female role. And I want to be, because it's her point of view.
Right.
So I wanted that. And she was perfect. And so I think she's got the three chapters so far.
Oh, so it's still in production.
Yeah, it'll be hopefully by end November, early December. It'll be ready for me to review.
Okay.
It's gonna be 9 hours, is what I've heard.
Okay.
So.
And is there like, do you have like an anticipated release date yet that we can know about, or not yet? It's still too early.
Probably too early. I'm hoping, not going to hoping, probably before the holiday in December.
All right.
I'm
It'll be a
hoping.
great Christmas gift.
Yes, there you go.
All right. So you mentioned earlier you were working on Peacekeeper 2.
Yes.
Is there anything, any hints, any Easter eggs that you can tell us? We won't tell the world, even though it is being recorded, but we won't tell the world, that you can tell us about the second one. Is there more mystery, more action? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so without spoiling too much, there actually is going to be another race, alien race, in the second book.
Okay.
And they're not going to be as polite as the Halan. They're going to be very dark and blunt. And there's a connection with them to this book that the readers are going to find out.
Are there any Easter eggs in this book that hint
Yes.
to? Okay. All right. We're not gonna talk about it. You're gonna have to find it for yourself.
Yes.
But all right, very good. How many books are you anticipating the series to be?
Right now, maybe 3. I wanted to do at least 3. I realized when I plot out book 2 that I was gonna have too much information in book 2 to put on the second book. So definitely book 3.
All right.
Hopefully.
So 3 books right
3
now.
books.
Who knows? There might be a chance that there's 4, and then maybe if someone will recommend a spin-off of a character, right?
Yeah.
Just anything to keep in the
Anybody,
world.
yeah.
Yes. Love it. We're going to pull out a little bit of Peacekeeper. We're going to talk about you and a little bit about your future. Do you have any upcoming projects outside of Peacekeeper that you're theorizing or in the process of writing, or are you specifically staying with sci-fi?
Right now, just Peacekeeper and sci-fi.
All right.
My schedule allows.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, this is your baby, so
It's
you want to
my
make sure
baby.
that you you do it justice. I love that. What has writing taught you about yourself?
That I'm very organized for one thing.
That's always a good trait to have.
Yeah, it was very stressful sometimes, especially during the editing process. It was stressful, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't go with this book again. But yeah, it just made me stronger, and I feel like I've learned so much from my editor that I with book two, I'm already catching things that I'm like, oh wait, I can't do it like this. So yeah, it's a learning experience for sure.
For sure. What would be like something like a piece of advice if you were to go back to you writing Peacekeeper, like first draft? What would you tell yourself, knowing what you know now?
Just keep going and watch some of the grammar that I learned in my editing process. And but
Well,
yeah,
that's what editors are for,
yeah,
right?
that's what editors are for. That's their job.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I learned a lot with this book.
Awesome. For people that haven't read it, haven't read Peacekeeper and want to read it for the first time, what would be one takeaway you really hope that they get from reading it?
Just to learn to have an open mind about things in life, and how just learn how to deal with a change, and just again, I think Krista is a very strong role model and leader, and I feel like people can latch onto her during rough times in their life.
Yeah, they can definitely learn something. That's awesome. I love that. What is in terms of for advice for aspiring writers? Because this is your first sci-fi novel, your first book that's been published.
Right.
As someone who's relatively new to the author world, what is some advice that you would give to aspiring authors?
Just keep writing. Don't give up. Some days you're just like, I can't do this, not today. But for me, I also use music. Just read. I listen to music a lot, so music helps you inspire scenes. Like with my new second book, there was like a song I heard the other day. I'm like, oh my gosh! I kept listening over and over and over again just to get more character development.
That's awesome. Well, do you have like a playlist or something? Do you have like a specific Peacekeeper playlist?
Sadly,
they're asking the important questions here. You know?
Well, there was a YouTube channel that sadly, apparently, the radio station got taken off recently, so I'm so depressed now. I've actually got some songs that I saved, but there was a radio station. It was called like Space Ambient Radio, like by Music Lab, and they would play like all the time. I also listen to it, and there was like one song that inspired the beginning of this book that I loved, and I was like, oh my gosh! But right again, Breaking Benjamin fan. The song Red Cold River inspired the second alien race or the second alien character in my second book. So
okay, I think now we need like a Peacekeeper playlist. Like we need something like a scene by scene, right?
I do.
Okay, and there should be a lot of Breaking Benjamin on that playlist. Okay, that's your homework after this.
I could do that definitely.
All right, well, those are all of my questions. Did you guys have any questions for Melinda? It's okay if you don't, but yeah, go ahead. Well, we're gonna do the crowd first, and then we'll do. They get priority. Come on now. Oh, you want the mic? Sorry, he is right.
I had two questions.
Okay.
First question: why two different covers?
Okay, it's a good question. So actually, this was the special edition cover that I came out with. It actually has Chris on the front and the alien Esky on the back. But the original cover is this one. But this was like a spur of moment, like last decision. I'm like, hey, nice. I really like my character, and I really want her on the front cover. So I know, and I'm surprisingly a lot of people bought this cover. So yeah,
it's a really nice cover, girl. Yeah.
Thank you.
Next question. Favorite movie of all time?
Oh, favorite movie. Okay, so to take me, I'm gonna show my age here. I like Broken Arrow, but it's got Christian Slater and John Travolta in it. It's military, rated R, but it's really good. So Broken Arrow, and I love Predator movies, so Predator.
All right, good questions. Love it. Hello, welcome.
Hello, hi.
Our interview portion it just concluded. However, if you have any questions, I don't want to put you on the spot since you guys just got here. But if you have any questions for Melinda, feel free to ask. I do have online questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, hold on. We're still learning how to do that.
Hello.
Hi.
So my question is, since it seems like such a huge current that's driving a lot of things in the book has to do with religion and culture and sociology and psychology
Right.
of different races and or people. Did writing this give you any insight or understanding into that subject with real life?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, with the way the world is now, yeah, definitely. It kind of helps me, because the right now, current events, it's a very stressful time, and I think just putting that on my characters and having them figure out helps me kind of unwind and relax a little bit and try to tune out. But yeah, it this helps a lot.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Does anyone else have any other questions before I put this back on? No? Good? All right. Well, if that's the case, once I get this on. Okay. If I do have, we asked a couple people online for questions that weren't able to attend today. So maybe it'll inspire you guys with more questions. All right, Melinda, this question is from Gerald of Rivia. Finally, okay, so first things first, do you have any plans to turn this into a full-blown series, which you kind of answered already, or even maybe a game? Because my controller is ready.
I wish. Whatever works. Because I think a lot of people know me online. I am a huge Mass Effect fan. So yeah. Krista was definitely inspired by female Commander Shepard, Renegade. So
Okay.
yeah, maybe
All right.
pitch
So
it to somebody.
that's your other homework. Write it down.
Write it down.
Start pitching ideas.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a whole list of my homework to do
There you
when you go
go.
home today. Second question from same person.
Uh-huh.
Can we dare hope for some kind of sneaky Easter egg or crossover like Krista bumping into the Shepherd crew or Shepherd themselves? And if you can just give a little background of what the Shepherd crew is for people that may not have read the book yet.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna do a crossover, unfortunately, just because copyright. I would probably get, banned or something, but I know. But yeah, I mean, okay, so people who don't play games, Mass Effect is a game with actually 3 or 4 if you count their Andromeda. There's about either a female or male role model or player, Commander Shepard, and they fight aliens, and he has an alien crew, and they deal with some of this stuff where, do you trust them or not? And there's different races and different things that they have to believe in. So yeah.
Okay, I've never heard of Shepherd crew before, but this sounds very interesting. Are you
Yeah.
sure you don't want to do a crossover?
I wish.
I'm highly invested in this
I
now.
will write BioWare
Okay.
that makes the game and say, hey.
Okay. So you can stick a spin-off or some kind of like inspired by, but all right, awesome. All right, one more question.
Okay.
Are we supposed to start side-eyeing Krista now? Is she about to go full villain arc on us? So
no, maybe
okay.
she might be seen as a villain to some people in the next book, and people not meaning the readers, other characters potentially.
Okay.
But that's all I'm gonna say for that.
I don't know, I'm getting kind of nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. All right, awesome. Another question here from Mindy Mousy.
Mhm.
Will there be plenty of Bear in the Peacekeeper sequel? He was my favorite next to Esky.
Yes, I loved writing Jack, and I silently shipped him a lot. So yes, I will definitely keep writing Jack in there.
All right.
Or Bear.
Bear, yeah.
It's
Okay.
just, it's
That's their
codename is Bear.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. All right, awesome. Let's see here. Ooh, I like this question from Andromeda, and I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. In Peacekeeper, survival depends on characters making difficult choices. What does leadership under pressure mean to you personally, and how did you shape that theme in your story?
Well, sometimes when people make decisions, it doesn't go the way they expect, and sometimes it could go really bad. So yeah, so you have to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to pick myself up and keep going? And understand things do happen out of our control, and and I think like I said in chapter 1 with Krista, something does go really bad, and she has to work through it. And sometimes you get in your own mind where you just feel like I can't do this, and you have to have somebody close to you like Jack to kind of pull you forward along with you.
Yeah, and say like you can do it. You
Yeah.
can get it. I love that. That's a great message. Okay, one more question, I promise. Your book from the same person. Your book explores the challenge of creating trust across deep divides. So, what inspired you to explore that theme, and how do you think fiction can shed light on real-world division? So, we kind of talked about it, but if you
Right.
could add a little bit more to that.
Yeah, so like I said before, I wanted to play on, instead of being devil's advocate and say how would change impact humans, I threw it on the aliens instead and try to make them figure it out. And I think that kind of shows today with again, current events, how do we deal with such divide and how we overcome it. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Amazing. All right, well, those are all the questions. Does anyone else have last minute questions?
Hi.
Oh, okay.
Well, you mentioned with your writing process that you listen to music,
Yeah.
but do you try to write every day, or do you have a certain word count that you want to reach every day, or do you have a schedule for your writing?
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, I don't have a set schedule. I would love to. Usually, I do my writings on Wednesdays when I'm off of work because I have unfortunately, a 9 to 5 job. So I don't have a lot of time to write. I don't have word count goals. But usually, once I get my headphones in and I'm set, I can pop things out real quickly with my outline. So yeah, I'm trying to get through book 2 rough draft, and it's discouraging sometimes. I'm like, I'm so far away. But yeah. Oh.
My question is about writer's block. How do you overcome it in the
Yeah.
middle of the book, especially?
Yeah, writer's block does hurt a lot. So whenever I have writer's block, I go for a walk. I could walk 2 or 3 miles sometimes and just put my headphones on and listen to music and just make myself try to think about a particular scene, particular character. Sometimes, unfortunately, I talk to myself in my house by myself and I'll work out the dialogue in my head. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm good. I'll go back to my computer now. So
Sometimes you have to talk to
you
yourself.
have to talk.
Like,
Even in the
make
car
sense.
now,
Yeah.
people can't tell the difference because they think you're on your phone. So I
That
just
is
talk
true.
to myself.
That is true. I feel that's a good point.
How they gonna know?
Yeah, that is true. All right. Any other questions? No. All right. So that concludes the Q&A portion. We're going to take a short break. And then when we come back, maybe like 10 minutes, stretch your legs, get a drink, use the bathroom. We're going to come back and Melinda's going to read us a section of chapter 1 for you guys to get a little bit of insight to it. So yeah, it's 12:51 right now. If we can come back at like 1:05. We're not in a rush here. 1:05. And yeah, thanks guys. I'm so glad to see you guys here. Oh my gosh, I love that there's so many people.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else, but yeah.
Oh.
All right. All good? All right, take it away, girl.
All right, this is from chapter 7. Does have a few language in it, but not too bad. Okay. Chris's eyes settled on the colony that lay ahead. Blaring alarms punctuated the darkness that fell over the area. The outlines of buildings blended in with the fast approaching night, making it difficult for her to see. She slipped on her helmet and allowed the interface to scan for any potential threats in the area. She checked her rifle's ammo count in the upper right of the screen. A distant bone-chilling howl pierced the air. It was unlike anything she heard before on Earth. Bear, what the hell was that? Not good, and we're out here in the open. Let's move to the colony and connect with Grim. Keep comms open. Single file, everyone. Bear seized the lead with his assault rifle clutched to his chest. Crystal fell in line with him. Her heart rate rose with each step in the dark colony. There was no sign of life anywhere, no voices. She activated the comm link in her helmet. Grim, this is Lone Wolf. We're in the vicinity. Do you read? Only silence responded. Grim, this is Bear, Wolf's mentor picked up next. If you can hear me, activate your tracking beacon. We'll find you. There was a brief few seconds of unease until a blip appeared on Chris's helmet display. He pinged. An immense weight lifted off her chest. Southwest inside the colony. Stay tight, everyone. Comms are open, but he may not speak. Bear paused right outside the entryway. What the heck? Moving closer, he reached out to touch something. Krista noticed that what he was looking at. 3 perfect parallel lines, deep and rugged, cut straight down the metal as if it were butter. A chilling howl echoed nearby, intensifying the already frightened discovery. Claw mark, sir? Bear's helmeted head swiveled each direction after the howl dissolved in the air. Whatever it is, it's moving in. Let's get inside. He turned to one of his men in the back of the group. Specs, you and Relic stay here. Work to get this gate closed. Something is out there, and it may return for us. The rest of you follow me. Just a few footsteps closer, and a scream of agony, followed by tears of flesh, erupted in the same direction as Grimm's beacon. Feral snarls echoed through the darkness, then a shattering of gunfire. Krista's mouth gaped open before she ducked and charged ahead. Move it! Wolf! She heard Bear's boots pounding the dirt behind her as he called out. I said stay together. That may be Grim, Bear. We need to pick up the pace. Krista rushed onwards. Her eyes picked up on an elegant dome structure ahead, and the blip inside her helmet became larger with each step. He's in there. She bolted inside first, followed by Bear and the rest of the group. The area opened to a large room that contained a sitting area and terminal stations, then it narrowed into a corridor. Her eyes fell upon 2 bodies on the ground. Upon closer inspection, she saw one was missing limbs, which were strewn a meter away, and the other had a severely mangled face. Colonists. She recognized the uniform they had been wearing. What the hell happened to them? Bear kneeled next to one corpse. The distinct sounds of clawing and heavy paws followed a sudden burst of snarls from the hallway. Red eyes glowed ahead. Hostiles! Krista alerted the others. Bear sprang to her side.
Keep going. Keep going. What are you doing? Why'd you stop? I was I'm very invested of what happened, right? Like, was it? Yeah. Tell me not. Are you guys not intrigued? Very invested. I'm very invested in this. I already have my copy, so I'm good. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
good. It was so awesome. Yes. Awesome. And first of all, your narration is perfect. Very good.
I'm not a narrator. I'm not.
But it sounded really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Oh,
It'd be way better than my voice, I promise you.
Is it dual or just one person?
Just one person.
Okay.
that's okay. It's a strong female main character
Yeah,
voice. Yeah.
not mine.
All right. Well, thank you for that. So the rest of the time, Krista, look at me, Krista. She's talking through.
It's talking through the vibes.
Melinda will be doing book signings, meet and greets. You can chat with her, get a book box because her daughter helped make one. And yeah, just chill. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for your questions. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Awesome.